So class, let us now start lecture number 21 of the course. So in the previous lecture, we discussed about this static load curves, okay, and we solved few problems related to this load frequency control problem, okay. So in this lecture number 21, we will discuss about the a single area power system where we have a number of generators that are connected in parallel, okay. So the topic for today's lecture is governors or generators operating in parallel. Generators operating in parallel, okay. So suppose that I am saying that I have a single area power system, okay. So I am saying I have a single area power system and the load demand on that power system is del P d. So I can say that this is a single area power system or it is a power plant. So in a power system, we can have number of generators, and in a single power plant, we can also have number of generators. But all the generators, they are connected in parallel. Suppose that I have generators here, G1, I have generator here, G2, and up to so on. Suppose that I have Gn number of generators. Okay, so all these generators, they are connected in parallel and they are supplying a load of delta Pt. Okay, means they are generating power and that power is being supplied to the load, which is delta Pd. Now I am saying that let H1, H2 and Hn be the inertia constants of the generator 1, 2 and n up to n respectively. Okay, so this is my, you can say this is I can represent that this is my power plant or it is a single area power system. Okay, so now what I have to do, I have to calculate now this delta frequency deviation. How this, if there is any change in load, obviously that change is reflected in frequency, and we will see how that frequency deviation, how these generators will collectively take care of that frequency deviation. Okay. So for Warner analysis, I am saying that for Warner analysis of generators operating in parallel, okay, each generator is associated with its own governor. Okay, so I am saying that the for governor analysis of generators operating in parallel in a power plant, we assume that the generators swing in unison. We assume that the generators swing means rotate, swing in unison to any load change, to any load change. Okay, so what do you mean by that? All I'm saying that all the generators, they are swinging together or swinging in unison if there is any change in load. Okay, that is, we are assuming that all the generators, okay, they are all the generators, they can be represented by a single equivalent generator or single machine, that is called as coherent machine. Okay, means I am saying if all the generators that are swinging together for any change in load, then these generators, all the generators, they can be represented by a single machine, which is called as a single coherent machine. Okay, that is, all generators can be I can say all generators can be represented by a single coherent machine, coherent, COHE, single coherent machine. And for the sake of analysis, we represent all the generator by a single coherent machine with inertia constant equal to the inertia constant, equal to the sum of inertia constants of individual generators. So what I am saying, suppose I am saying I have n generators and I am saying they are connected to a same load, they are supplying power to the same load. So if there is any change in load, so that the time I am saying that all these generators, they will swing together, means they will take care of that this change in load together. So I can say that all the generators, they can be represented by a single generator whose inertia constant, that single generator or equivalent generator, is called as the coherent machine, whose inertia constant H equivalent is nothing but the sum of inertia constants of all the generators that are connected to this in this power system. Okay, or in other words, I can write that H equivalent is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n Hn. Is it okay? No, this I am saying I have a coherent machine. I can represent it by represent all the generators by a single transfer function model. So I am saying all the generators are represented by a single generator whose inertia constant is nothing but given by this equation. So I will draw this 1 plus S TPS. I am saying this transfer function block represents the equivalent generator, or it represents the equivalent coherent machine. Okay, so the output of the machine is nothing but delta Fs. Okay, now this generator, that is single equivalent generator, I will draw it here. I'm saying no, this can be represented by a single equivalent generator whose inertia constant is given by H equivalent, and this is supplying the load delta PD. So I'm saying they both are equivalent. Okay, so now this generator, this coherent generator, is driven by a combined mechanical output of the individual turbines of each generator. मीन्स ये जनरेटर है, इसके साथ एक टर्बाइन कनेक्टेड है, ये जनरेटर है, one turbine is connected to this generator, and similarly one turbine is connected to this generator. Now these generators, the output of the turbine from this generator, it will supply power to this generator. The output of the turbine from of generator 2, it will supply power to this generator, and the output of the turbine of generator 1, it will drive the generator 1. Okay, so I am saying now I am representing this all the machines by a single machine. So I will say this coherent generator is driven by the combined output of the individual turbines, combined output of the individual turbines. So I'm saying this is a coherent machine. It is driven by a combined mechanical outputs of individual turbines. So how I can represent it? Suppose I am saying here it was what? It was delta PD. Okay, it was delta PD. So here I have delta PG. Okay, so this delta PG, I'm saying here I have delta PG equivalent. Okay, so this delta PG equivalent will be equal to what? If you will see, if you will take a summing point here, circle, so you will get three inputs, n number of inputs here, 1 input, 2 input, n. So what is this? This is delta PG1 S, delta PG2S, and this is delta PGNS. Okay, so what is delta PG1? It is the mechanical output power or turbine output power. Delta PG2 is the turbine output power of generator 2, or delta PGN is the turbine output power of generator N. So I will add all the output powers of the turbine, and that will be the input power to the equivalent generator. Okay, so the diagram will look like this. Okay, further I will again redraw this diagram to make the things to make you guys understand this concept better. So now I will rotate the page in a landscape mode. Okay, so what I am saying here, that I have a summing point here. Okay, so then I am taking another summing point here. So this is positive, this is negative, this is my delta PDS. Then I have a equivalent generator, KPS divided by 1 plus S TPS. So this is my delta FSS. So here I will have, suppose I am taking that n is equal to 3. I am spacing that n is equal to 3. So I will have 3 generators here, 3 inputs here, 1, 2, 3. This is delta PG1S, this is delta PG2S, and this is delta PG3S. Pg3s. S is in Laplace means. Okay, so this is my feedback system. Okay, suppose I am saying this is 1 by R3. I missed a block here, not like this. Okay, suppose here this is the output of the turbine. Now let me draw a turbine and governor block here. Turbine governor block, it will be KSG3 KT3 divided by 1 plus S TSG3 1 plus S TT3. Okay, so it is like this, and this is going like this. This is minus 1 by R3. Okay, so then I have another block here. So it will be, it is the input to the second. So this is second generator, second turbine and governor block. So it will be KSG2 into KT2 whole divided by 1 plus S TSG2 into 1 plus S TT2. So also the input to this is minus 1 by R2 into delta Fs, and then I have the first unit here. Okay, so this is first unit, so it will be KSG1 KT1 divided by 1 plus S TSG1 1 plus S TT1. Okay, so minus 1 by R1. So this is how the block diagram will look like. Now I am saying that I am representing the generator by a single equivalent coherent machine with time constant Kps, gain Kps and time constant Tps. Now this generator, it is driven by the combined output of the mechanical power of all the turbines. So this is the and obviously I am ignoring the losses. So turbine output will be the input to the generator. So this will be the first turbine output, second turbine output, third turbine output, and their summation will be the input to the generator. Okay, so this is how this diagram will look like. So now we have to do the steady state analysis. What we have to do, we have to do the steady state analysis of the generators which are operating in parallel. So how will you do the steady state analysis? So number one, see at steady state, what happens at steady state? We say that DC gain at steady state, what happened? We say that what is the DC gain? DC gain is only the gain of the forward path. So I will say that DC gain which is GP0. Why 0? Because at steady state S is equal to 0. Okay, this is subscript F, this S, Laplace S. Okay, because we say at steady state d by dt is equal to 0. Everything is constant, so at steady state, so d by dt will be equal to 0. So if you will take the Laplace, so it will be S. D by dt is represented by S. So S term will be replaced by 0. So if I am replacing the S term in 0, so it will be Kps divided by 1 plus 0 into Tps. So it will be equal to Kps. So it is DC gain. Got it? So I am saying at steady state. So let's see what will be this KPS equal to. Okay, so if you will see, you will put this KPS is equal to nothing but delta FSS. No, this is steady state condition, but in time domain, divided by delta PG. Here I have delta PGS. Delta PGS, SS means steady state, minus delta PD. Okay, got it? Simply you can get it from this output. This is input multiplied by Kp is equal to output. Okay, so this is input. If you will take on this side, input multiplied by Kp is equal to output, steady state, because S is equal to 0. Okay, So from here, can you calculate delta FSS? So delta FSS, that is frequency deviation in steady state, is given by KPS into delta PGSS minus delta PD. Okay, so name it equation number 1. Okay, so in the second step, what will you do? So how many generators are I am assuming here? I am assuming 3 generators. Okay, so at steady state, I am saying that S term will be equal to 0. So what will be delta Pg1 in steady state? Delta Pg1 in steady state will be equal to, so this is 0, this is 0. Okay, S here 0, S, let me bring it in the camera. So in I am talking about the generator 1. So in steady state, S term is equal to 0. So this S is 0 and this S is equal to 0. So what are we left with? We are left with KSG1 into KT1. And I told you that we select the gain in such a manner that KSG1, product of KSG1 and KT1, it is nearly equal to 1. So under steady state, you will say that this transfer function block, it will be represented by 1. Okay, so delta PG, at the time I can write that delta PG1 SS is equal to delta PG1 SS under steady state is equal to 1 multiplied, what is the feedback here? If you will see, what is the feedback? Multiplied by minus 1 minus delta FSS by R1, because delta FS is the frequency deviation under steady state. Okay, similarly, delta PG2SS is equal to minus delta FSS divided by R2, and similarly delta PG3 under steady state is equal to minus del FSS divided by R3. So you got these 3 equations. So what is total PG equal to? Delta PG under steady state equal to, so delta PG under steady state is equal to nothing but delta PG1 under steady state plus delta PG2 under steady state plus delta PG3 under steady state. Okay, so take the sum of all these 3 equations. So what are we left with? Minus delta FSS 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Got it? So this is your delta FSS. So you know we have calculated delta FSS here, which is KPS into delta PGS minus delta PD. So substitute equation 1 or this equation 2 in equation 1. So substituting equation 2 in equation 1, what we will get? Delta FSS is equal to KPS multiplied by minus delta FSS 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, okay, minus delta PD. Got it? So what I will do, I will represent 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 by 1 by R equivalent. Okay, so I will write delta FSS is equal to KPS into minus del FSS by R equivalent minus delta PD. Okay, so now take this delta FSS on this side. So what will you get? Take delta FSS common. Delta FSS means frequency deviation in steady state, but under in time domain, it will be equal to 1 plus KPS by R equivalent. 1 plus KPS by R equivalent will be equal to minus KPS into delta PD. So from this equation, you can say that delta FSS will be equal to minus KPS delta PD whole divided 1 plus KPS by R equivalent. Okay, so dividing both numerator and denominator by KPS. So what you do, dividing and dividing, right, dividing both numerator and denominator of RHS right hand side by KPS. So if I will divide both numerator and denominator of RHS by KPS, what will I get? I will get delta FSS. I will get delta FSS is equal to what? Minus del PD minus delta PD divided by, so it will be minus 1, it will be 1 by KPS, 1 by KPS plus, so it will be 1 by R equivalent plus 1 by R equivalent. So 1 by KPS is nothing but B minus delta PD whole divided by B plus 1 by R equivalent. No, this B plus 1 by R equivalent we already calculated, is nothing but AFRC. So I can write that final equation delta Fs, frequency under steady deviation under steady state, is nothing but minus delta PD whole divided by B plus 1 by R equivalent, where B is nothing but 1 by KPS, which is given by, and B is given by delta, this was a change in load, delta PD divided by delta F, change in load because of the change in frequency. So here you see that we are representing all the machines that are operating in parallel by a single coherent machine, and we are saying the input to that coherent machine is nothing but the sum of outputs of individual turbines. Okay, and also the inertia of the equivalent machine is nothing but the sum of inertias of the individual turbines, individual generators. So next, let us solve one or two problems which are very important from examination point of view. So the problems are like that, like this. Let me, I have already solved it, so I will use here this question. So we are given a single area power system is given. The data for a single area power system is given. The data is like that a single area has 3 U generators, means generator 1, generator 2 and generator 3. So generator 1 has a rating of 100 MVA, generator 2 has a rating of 500 MVA, and generator 3 has also the same rating, that is 500 MVA. So this regulation of unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3, unit 1 is 0.1, 0.01 and unit 2 and 3 is 0.015 and 0.015 in per unit. So this regulation is in per unit but on unit base, means ye wala jo per unit regulation it is on unit base of 100 MVA. So this per unit, for this per unit regulation the base is 500, and for this the base is again 500, because it is written that regulation is given in per unit, but this per unit is calculated on unit base. Okay, so initially it is given that the units are loaded, that unit 1 is supplying 80 megawatt, unit 2 is supplying 300, and unit 2 is supplying 300 megawatt, and unit 3 is supplying 400 megawatt. So we will assume that B is equal to 0. Okay, 1 by KPS, which is nothing but del PD by del F, it is given equal to 0. So we are saying that what is the new generation on each unit for 50 megawatt load increase. So these are the initial generations. Now we will increase the generation by 50 megawatt, and then we will say how the load will increase on these units, unit 1, 2 and 3. So when first case, when B is equal to 0, then we have to repeat the problem when B is equal to 1 per unit. Okay, so let me solve this problem here. So problem 1, so P1 is how much? 80 megawatt, P2 is 300 and P3 is 400 megawatt. Okay, so let me draw the table first for this unit rating or R regulation. So unit 1, 2, 3, rating of unit 1 is 100 MVA, that of unit 2 is 500, and that of unit 3 is again 500. So this regulation in per unit on unit basis, it is 0.01, it is 0.015, it is 0.015. So first case we are assuming when B is equal to 0 and delta PD, change in load, is nothing but 50 megawatt. So we have to calculate again what is new generation, P1 new, P2 new and P3 new. Okay, so first case when B is 0, and we will take that this regulation is given on unit base, Means for calculating regulation of unit 1, the base MVA was taken 100, and for calculating regulation of unit 2 in per unit, the base MVA was 500, and for calculating regulation of unit 3 in per unit, the base MVA was 500. So what we have to do, we have to convert this R in R, we have to calculate R per unit on a single common base. Okay, so I am saying let us take a common base of 100 MVA. Okay, so what will be R1? R1 new, obviously in per unit it will be R1 old 0.01 multiplied by old new base, okay, divided by old base. Okay, let me write for R2 as well. R2 0.015 multiplied by new base divided by old base. So you must be confused here that actually if we are calculating new per unit value, it is nothing but old per unit value multiplied by old base divided by new base. But here we are doing, we are calculating old per unit multiplied by new base by old. But conventionally you have taken per unit old multiplied by old base by new base. So let me explain why it is opposite here. Okay, so we know that R is nothing but del F by del P. So I have to calculate R in per unit. So R in per unit is given by, because you know what, this is regulation na? If you will draw the curve of a regulation. Okay, so yes, so if you will draw a curve of regulation, frequency is on x-axis and load is on y-axis. Okay, so obviously R is nothing but del F by del P. Okay, so now I have to calculate this R in per unit. So it is del F by F, base value of frequency, divided by del P by P. Okay, so this is R per unit 1. That's why I'm using here P1 when base was taken P1. So it will be del F by del P multiplied by P1 by F. Okay, if you will solve this. So similarly, R per unit 2 will be del F by del P multiplied by P2 by F. Okay, because now base here is P2. So R per unit 2, okay, R per unit 2, we know that this del F by del P, it is nothing but R per unit 1 multiplied by F divided by P1. So R per unit 1 multiplied by F divided by P1 multiplied by P2 by F. F will cancel. So R per unit 2 will be equal to R per unit 1 multiplied by base new by base old. So that is why I am writing here base new by base old. Similarly, R3 will be given by 0.015 multiplied by 100 divided by 500. So if you will calculate, you will get this is equal to 0.01. There will be no change. It will be 0.003 per unit, and this will be again 0.003 per unit. So let us convert the change in load demand into per unit also. Okay, so delta PD in per unit is nothing but 50 divided by, what is the base now, 100. So it will be nothing but 0.5 per unit. So what is del F under steady state? We calculated del F under steady state. Del F under steady state, yes, it is beta is equal to 1 by kps. I committed a mistake here, and beta is okay, this was beta. Okay, del PD by del F, it is right. This is R here. So frequency deviation under steady state is nothing but del minus delta PD divided by B plus 1 by R equivalent. So I will write here delta FSS is nothing but minus delta PD divided by B plus 1 by R equivalent. So R is given to you. You can calculate R equivalent. So you will see that delta F under steady state, it is, if it is in steady state, I don't need to write delta FSS. So it will be delta PD minus 0.5 minus delta BT divided by B is 1, B is 0 plus R equivalent is nothing, 1 by R equivalent nothing but 1 upon 0.01 plus 1 upon 0.003 plus 1 divided by 0.003. Okay, so it will be minus 0.5 divided by 766.666 if you solve. So del F will be in per unit will be equal to minus 0.0001 62517 in per unit. So I can write 2 3 4 5 6, I can write it as minus 625.17 into 10 raised to minus 6 per unit. This is delta F per unit. So what if you want to convert this per unit value into actual value? So del F actual will be equal to del F per unit multiplied by the base value of the frequency, which is 50. So if you will multiply this, if you will multiply it, is 0.00062517 multiplied by 50. So it will be equal to frequency is 0.03. How much? 0.0. Del F actually will be equal to this is negative sign, minus 0.0312 hertz. So this is your change in frequency. So what will be your new frequency? F dash, it will be actual frequency plus this nominal frequency F naught plus F del F actual. फ्रीक्वेंसी डिवीजन एक्चुअली कितना चेंज हुआ प्लस जो हमारी नॉमिनल फ्रीक्वेंसी है. सो नॉमिनल इज 50. व्हाट इज डेल एफ एक्चुअल? माइनस 0.0312. ओके, 50 माइनस 0.0312. So it is 49.96. So F dash new frequency is 49.968 hertz. So obviously the frequency will dip, because what we are considering, we are saying that the load will increase by 50 megawatts. So obviously if the load will increase, frequency will dip. Okay, so we calculated the frequency deviation in per unit. Then we converted this per unit value into actual value, that is in hertz. So then we calculated the new frequency, which is nothing but the old frequency plus frequency deviation. Okay, so we got F dash is equal to 49.968 hertz. Okay, so once you have calculated the frequency deviation, okay, new frequency, so let us calculate the generations, delta Pg1, delta Pg2 and delta Pg3. So for that I will again refer back this one of my sheets which I solved here. Yes, so look, what is delta Pg1? Change in generation and in steady state. It is nothing but change in frequency in steady state divided by regulation. Okay, got it? Now I will use these formulas to calculate the change in generation of unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3, and then I will calculate the new generations. Okay, so I am saying delta Pg1 is nothing but in per unit minus delta F by R1. Okay, what is minus delta F? If we will talk about minus delta F in per unit, it was coming out 625.17 into 10 raised to power minus 6, and R1 was 0.01. Okay, so if you will solve, okay, so if you will solve it, okay, you are getting whatever you are getting. This is delta Pg1 per unit. Now delta Pg1 actual, if I want to calculate the actual value, so I will multiply by the per unit value by the base value, and the base value I am taking 100. So it will be delta Pg1 per unit multiply by 100, which is the base value. So it is coming out as, now I will calculate this whole here. Firstly 1625.17 multiplied by 10 to the minus 6 multiplied by 100 divided by 0.01. So what I am getting, 625.17 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 6 multiplied by 100 divided by 0.01. So delta Pg1 actual is nothing but 6.25 megawatt. So I am saying, and the sign is positive. If you will see what will be the sign here. So let us forget the sign. So I am saying that this delta Pg1 is how much? 6.25. Okay, so let us calculate delta Pg2 now. Yes. Look here, it was minus delta F by R1. Okay, so what I am saying, this minus here, and delta F, what is delta F in per unit? The value of delta F in per unit was negative. So it was minus into minus of this. So this minus multiplied by this minus, it is positive. So it is coming out as 6.25. That's why I am writing a positive term directly here. So now let us see the change in generation of unit 2. Change in generation of unit 2 in per unit is nothing but minus delta F divided by R2. So what is minus delta F? It was same minus 625.17 into 10 raised to minus 6. So that minus and this minus, it will become positive. 625.17 into 10 raised to minus 6 divided by what is R2? R2, the value of R2 is 0.003 multiplied by, so this is per unit. So del Pg2 actual will be equal to 625.17 into 10 raised to minus 6 divided by 0.003 multiplied by 100. So 625.17 into 10 raised to minus 6 multiplied by 100 divided by 0.003. So it is coming out as 20.839 megawatt. Similarly, delta Pg3 actual is nothing but 625.17 into 10 to the minus 6 multiplied by 100 divided by 0.003. Okay, it is again coming out as 20.839. $652 or 25. I think I am committing a mistake somewhere. And I don't know where I am committing this mistake. So let me check delta F per unit. It was coming out 0.5 divided by 766.666. Here I am committing the mistake. This is not 625, it is 652.17. 652.17 into 10 to minus 6. Okay, so if I will 652.17 into 10 raised to minus 6 multiplied by 50. Okay, in per unit it is coming out as this. So my 652.17 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 6 multiplied by 50. It is coming at out here 0.0326. So 50 minus answer, it was coming out as 0.0326. The answer is coming as 49.96. So here delta Pg is 652.17. 652.17 into 10 raised to power minus 6 divided by 0.01. Okay, it is 652.17 divided by 0.01 multiplied by 100. It is coming out as 6.52. 6.5217 megawatt. 6.5217 megawatt. And this delta, it is not 625, it is 652.17 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by 0.003. It is 652. So 652.17 into 10 raised to the minus 6 multiplied by 100 divided by 0.003. 21.739 megawatt. Similarly, 652.17 divided by 10 to the power minus 6 multiplied by 100, 0.003. 6 multiplied by 100 divided by 0.003. It is also coming out as 21.739 megawatt. So let us add all the three generations. That is, we know that delta P D is nothing but delta Pg1 plus delta Pg2 plus delta Pg3. Delta PD is equal to delta Pg1 plus delta Pg2 plus डेल्टा Pg3 बिकॉज जनरेशन कितना चेंज होना चाहिए जितना हमारा डिमांड चेंज हुआ. सो लेट अस सी दिस सम इज कमिंग आउट इक्वल टू 50. सो 21.739 21.739 21.739 and this was the first one was 6.5217. So multiply by 2 plus 6.5217. So it is coming out delta PD is equal to 49.99 which 999 which is nothing but 50 megawatt. Okay, nearly 50 megawatt. So here we saw that this how means we see that the generation of the load that the output of the generator 1 will increase by 6.5217 megawatt, output of the generator 2 will increase by 21.739 megawatt, and the output of the generator 3 will also increase by 21.739 megawatt because they have the same regulation. Okay, so what will be the new generation? Del Pg1 new will be equal to Pg1 plus delta Pg1. So what was Pg1? 80 plus 6.5217, so which is coming as 86.5217 megawatt. So Pg2 new will be equal to Pg2 plus delta Pg2. So Pg2 initially how much was Pg2? It was 300. So which is equal to 300 plus delta Pg2 21.739 was equal to 321.739, and Pg3 new will be equal to Pg3 plus delta Pg3. So Pg3 is given by how much? It is given to you 400 plus 21.739. So Pg3 new will be equal to 421.739 megawatt. So these will be the new generations of the generator 1, generator 2 and generator 3. So this was all about lecture number 21. So I have solved one part here. Okay, that is when I was saying that B is equal to 0. Now the second part, that is when B is equal to how much? When B is equal to, this is for B is equal to 0. So it has I calculated it. Now you will do the same, repeat the same process for B is equal to 1. So nothing will change, only here B will change. Earlier B was 0, now here B will be 1. You will calculate the frequency deviation. So once you will calculate the frequency deviation, after that you will calculate frequency deviation actual frequency, new frequency. Then you will calculate the change in generation in in generator 1, 2 and 3, and you will calculate the new generation of generator 1, 2 and 3. So that was all for this lecture number 21. So tomorrow I will upload one more lecture, that is lecture number 22.